So how can you develop the new topics actually, and how can you implement this DevOps into real-time scenario? So for this, we are trying to go with so previously, which I was explained in part one, that is completely part of DevOps with example, and I was gone through process and everything comes a picture here. So, but now today I'm trying to deal about so what is so we are trying to go with how can you work on the DevOps actually, and what are the major concepts which we are trying to challenge on the DevOps actually. So this is how we can try to go with a very briefly about this in this DevOps scenario. Okay, so for this, in day one, we already recognize what is DevOps and what is the development plus operations, and what is the problem in DevOps actually, how to solve this operation under the automation mode. Okay, so but now coming to the part of this particular scenario in day two, I want to see the performance of DevOps actually. So we are trying to go with performance, and we are trying to go with the behavior and attribute, and we are trying to go with organization and how we can go with the governance, and how we can work on the transformation of DevOps actually. Okay. So here we are trying to go with this content in this day two concept. Okay. So generally what is DevOps actually? If you go with the Wikipedia, so we are working with as per the scenarios. If you go with the viral of your websites, definitely we can see the DevOps is comes a picture of development plus operations, and we are trying to work on the software development methods. So we are working on the software development to maintain the communication. We maintain the collaboration process. Okay. So what is the communication? If you get some requirement according to your project company, so definitely we are trying to communicate with the other teams also. Okay, that is a collaboration process. Okay, and we are trying to create and web service usage. Okay, so here we are trying to go with integration, and we are working with automation, and we are working with the measurement process. Okay, so we are working with the measurement process under the IT professional. Okay, so here we are trying to gather all the information, and we are trying to provide the integration, automation, and we are working with the collaboration process. Okay, so this is how we can try to go with the DevOps integration progress. Okay, so DevOps is completely like a cross-disciplinary community where we can practice the building study, and we can involve rapidly changing on recycle projects. Okay, we want to working with the recycle projects. Okay, so DevOps is not a tool, it's not a software, guys, it's a methodology. We are working with the methodology aspects. Okay, so coming to agile methodology, so we are working with the DevOps. We are trying to work on the so whatever we are trying to call. So we are working with the software development life cycle. In this software development life cycle, we are trying to use some enterprise models. Okay, what kind of enterprise models is agile model? Okay, so basically, what is agile model here is we are trying to add the incremental and decremental progress. Add the incremental model and decremental progress. It was started at 2015 only. Okay, it was started at 2015 only. So previously, if you go with my day one review, you can see what is agile model there. But coming to the concept of agile model here, I'll try to go with example to understand this concept. Okay, see, whenever you're working with, so what is your current situation? You can build the firewalls actually. See, whenever you're trying to take any business level, whenever you're trying to take any business level, you're trying to go with the development first. You're trying to work on the development, and you're trying to work on the operation field. You're trying to work on the operation field. See, in this case of scenario, what I want to explain here is, so whenever you're trying to get any gather information, definitely we need to maintain the development strategy, and we need to maintain the operation strategy. Okay, so we are trying to so to help to remove the wall. So if you get the requirements, you can try to go with development. You're trying to go with the operation field. Okay, so once you've done this, now the wall will becomes a picture of development plus operation. So in this we are trying to go with the in this we are trying to go with, so if you go with the development, you can try to focus some day-to-day challenges. Okay, day-to-day challenges, what kind of challenges is, so more urgent driven projects. Okay, so if you are trying to target the date driven projects, and we are trying to go with fragile code and production. So if you're working with Java or .NET or Salesforce or whatever it may be, that is a fragile, and we are trying to go with the under the progression on a particular part of scenario. Okay, and we are so it is mainly like a costless effective. Okay, so if you go with the DevOps, definitely it is completely costless effective. We are working with the cloud integration progress. Okay, so in these methods, we are trying to go with cost of deployments. So mainly maintain majorly what we are trying to focus here is we are trying to go with estimation of the project, and we are trying to go with the quality of the service. Okay, so this is how we can maintain the development plus operations. Okay, in these operations, what we can do here is we are working with the 24/7 process under the agile methodologies, based upon the how can you add the process, how can you delete the process. Okay, suppose I can go with a small example to understand this concept. Okay, so for this I can go with the paint. I'm taking one requirement. I can take a requirement like suppose I'm taking Netflix. Netflix. You know what is Netflix, right? Netflix is an online application, and completely the target is completely streaming, streaming and buffering, buffering. So where it is buffering? It is buffering on the Netflix cloud. Netflix cloud. We are working with the Netflix cloud. So it is completely streaming and buffering on the Netflix cloud. Okay. So how can you get the requirement on the basis of software development lifecycle? On the basis of software development lifecycle. On the basis of software development lifecycle. On the basis of software development lifecycle. So in this software development lifecycle, we are trying to go with the first one is requirements. Second one is analysis. Analysis. Third one is implementation. Implementation. And fourth, I can go with testing. Fifth, I can go with deployment. Sixth, I can go with the production. Production. So basically, if you're working on these things, so we are working with the different aspects. So DevOps will comes a picture of development, plus we are working with operations. So we are working with collaboration plus we are working with operations, that is process. We are working with process. I can call this one as a methodology. We are working with a methodology. Okay, and next point is DevOps. It's not a tool, it's not a software. It's not a software. It's a completely, we are working with completely, completely, we are working with completely, it's a culture. We are working with a culture. Okay. Okay. As I told you that, so we are working with not a tool, it's not a software, it's a culture. And we are working with the requirements. What kind of requirements you're doing? What kind of requirements you're doing? So in this requirement, what I can do here is I can go with the plan of action, that is Netflix. So here, basically, we are working with the requirements. In these requirements, I'm trying to go with collecting all the requirements, all the documents from client. So whatever we are trying to provide. So what is my requirement is Netflix. Netflix application. Netflix application. We are working on the Netflix application. Okay, this is a requirement for me. Okay, so in this Netflix application, I'm trying to go with the servers. I'm trying to go with the packages. I'm trying to go with the documentation. And I'm trying to go with the security. This is how I can go with the security side. Okay. So coming to the part, we are trying to next we are trying to go with the analysis. In this analysis, so whatever I'm trying to take the Netflix application, I'm trying to go with the framework activity. Framework activity. In this framework activity, what I want to create a blueprint architecture. I want to create a blueprint architecture for the particular things. So for this, we need to create a modules first. Create a modules. So how many modules? It depends upon the size of the project. Size of the project. Either it is small, it is big, it is depends upon the MNC company size. Okay. So it depends upon the size of the project. Okay. So suppose my project is something around some 100 TZ. So it's a very big project, that is Netflix application, because we need to maintain the cloud efficiency for this. So for this, we need to go with the cloud services also. Cloud services. So have you remembered this? So if you're working on the developing side, definitely we can try to go with the cloud services also sometimes, because we need to store the local repositories. Local repositories in this particular analysis. Okay. Now coming to the part of implementation. In this implementation, we are trying to go with one more concept. We are trying to go with the developer perspective. Developer perspective. In this developing perspective, what I can do here is, suppose whatever I was done the software packages. See here, I'm trying to create a software package as per requirement level, that is software packages. So suppose I'm taking Java or .NET or PHP or Salesforce, like this and so on, up to etc. We are working on the etc files. So that is implementation. So depends upon the developer amounts. There depends upon the Salesforce activities. So we are working on the Salesforce activity as per the performance level. That is a part of implementation. Once you done the implementation to maintain the modular efficiency based upon the different schedulers of we are maintaining the different schedulers of code. We are working with different schedulers of code. This is all about the implementation part. Okay. Now coming to the testing part. So what is testing actually? Testing will maintain the testing scripts. We are maintaining the testing scripts. Based upon the testing scripts, we are working on the scripting files. To maintain the secure code. As per the developer perspective. Developer perspective. As per the developer perspective, we are maintaining the scheduler efficiency. Okay. So this is all about the testing strategy. Okay. Now coming to the part of we are working with the next one is we are working with next one is deployment. We are maintaining the deployment. In this deployment, what I can do here is in this deployment, I can work on the op, operation side. Operation side. On the basis of operation side, we are maintaining the operation side. What is operation side here is I am working on the progress on DevOps tools. DevOps tools. So in this DevOps tools, we are trying to work on the CI/CD, CI/CD basis. CD basis. Okay, what is the CI/CD here? CI/CD stands for CI stands for continuous integration. Continuous integration. We are working on the continuous integration. Continuous integration. So in this continuous integration, so we are working with in this continuous integration, we are trying to download the source code. Download the source code. We are trying to download the source code. Next, we are trying to build an artifact. Build an artifact. In this, we are trying to go with continuous monitoring. Continuous monitoring. We are trying to go with continuous monitoring. So we are trying to monitor the servers and we are trying to work on the pipelines. Pipelines of the servers. Pipelines of the servers. We are trying to work on the pipelines of the servers. We are trying to maintain the CI. And coming to CD, we are working on the continuous delivery. We are working on the continuous delivery under the progress. We are working with the continuous delivery. In this current continuous delivery, we are working with 24/7 process. Process. This is how we can maintain the efficiency under the deployment. Okay, that is continuous delivery. We are working with the production side. Production side. Okay, this is how we can maintain the efficiency. Okay, now coming to the concept of whatever I told you regarding all these things, like requirements as per the Netflix application. We are trying to take the Netflix application. So this is how we can take the requirements as per the company norms, and we are working with analysis, and we are working with implementation, and working with the testing. Okay, this is how we can go with the strategies. Okay, so this is all about the software development life cycle. Okay, that's fine. Now, how can you take the models? How can you take the project? How can you take the project as per the model level? As per the model level. How can you take the projects under the model level? See, I want to tell you one thing very clearly. So whenever you're trying to take any project in as per the client software norms, okay, you're trying to go with the development, testing, and everything comes a picture, that is CI. And we are trying to, so how can you plan this project according to the model? So for this, what I can do here is I can go with the process of the first one is we are trying to go with like this. See, the market will come the picture, the solution with various points. That is, we are working with organization, performance, culture, we are working with flow, and we are working with the automation. So these are the one of the major concepts which we are trying to rise the as per the client scenarios. Okay, so we are trying to rise the scenarios as per the we are trying to go with perform. So first we'll try to take the functionality of organization, then we can go with the performance of this completely becomes a picture of how we can try to set the goals as per the project norms, and how can you take the culture, how can you perform the culture, and how can you require the flow of access, how can you require the flow of access, and how can you take the automation level. So this is how we can overall see the market in DevOps industry. Okay, so now coming to the achievements of the goals, how can you achieve these goals actually, how can you perform this achievement of the goals? See here, you need to take very strict action according to the. So we need to take a moment. So we need to collaborate with the moment on the basis of IT operations. On the basis of IT operations under the key goals. So first, we need to improve the quality of the delivery. First, we need to improve the quality of the delivery, and how can so we need to improve the delivery actions under the business values. So the customers also want to show the interest on the product, and we need to increase the efficiency, and we need to increase the speed of the delivery. So DevOps will come the picture. It's a completely free speed service where we can do the automation level according to the high efficiency. So for this, we are trying to move the efficiency side. Okay, next we are trying to improve the efficiency to reduce the cost. So everything comes a picture that currently it is very costly right now in market. We need to reduce the cost efficiency also. This is the one of the goal of the DevOps industry. So now, as I told you that the current market situation will be like this. So if you take any business, definitely we can try to collaborate with the culture, performance, and process tooling and organization. So this is all about the overall industry in DevOps industry. So as per the market needs. So DevOps will come the picture where we are working with development plus operation, where we can collaborate all the members in culture, performance, and process, and we are working with the tooling and organization levels. Okay, so this is how we can overall the progress of the software industry. So see here, we are working with the automation side, performance, culture, flow, and we are working with the organization level. So now, as per the software industry, we are working with the different types of industry. So in this DevOps industry, we are trying to go with continuous delivery. So we are trying to deliver the process where we can work on the collaboration under the reliability concept. Okay, so we need to improve the current update situation, and we need to work on the progress as per the customer needs. Okay, we are working with the next one is continuous integration. In continuous integration, what we can do is, as per the software industry, we are working with software engineering. We are trying to merge the concepts, and we are trying to improve the sufficient level in day-to-day concepts. Okay, so in this concept, what we can try to do here, we are working on the CI. So CI is one of the major part in DevOps industry. We are trying to rise the testing provenance based upon the different types of aspects. Okay, so now coming to testing side, in this testing side, we are trying to go with how can you improve the quality of the testing? How can you improve the jobs also in testing part? So for this, we are trying to go with the testing set based upon the automation field. Next, DevOps adoption. What is meant by DevOps adoption? Adoption is nothing but we are trying to adopt some different types of products based upon the virtual side and as well as automation side. Okay, so here we are trying to go with adoption like Agile. So Agile is one of the major methodology. We are working with process and development, and we are trying to work on the progress. Okay, so we are trying to increase the productivity based upon the operation side, and we need to work on the progress. Okay, so this is all about the DevOps strategy which we are working under the development plus operations. So we have a lot of products, guys, in industry. So if you go with the DevOps, definitely right now it is completely automation. So like we can see the cars also. Right now it is completely like Tesla, Kia, and we have a lot of products in automation side. Okay, coming to the part of how we can achieve the goals. So we need to reduce the cost efficiency. We need to reduce the software quality. So we need to reduce all the software capabilities. We need to increase the time of efficiency. We need to go with improvement of the code. We need to go with the quality of the softwares, and we need to reduce the product efficiency, and we need to reduce the improvement of the quality levels. Okay, so like this, we are trying to share all the things. We are trying to share the all the things. So this is how we can overall the progress in market efficiency. in market efficiency. So coming to other framework, so other framework activities, how we can work on the other frames. If you're working on the other frames, like if you go with the Netflix, if you go with Amazon, if you go with the cloud, Alibaba cloud. So so we are working with the development, how we can determine the development. So based upon the waterfall model. Previously, I was discussed this one as a waterfall model in method one. So method one. So for this, we are trying to go with different types of strategies, different types of strategies as per the market needs, uh, market strategies. Okay. So here, basically, if you take any project, so the plan of action is coming the part of software development lifecycle, that is requirements, design, coding, testing, and maintenance. Okay. So it is completely like water flow, guys. Once you take a decision, you need to move only forward, not backward. So definitely the client won't satisfy your project and the market will be failed in waterfall model. Okay. In waterfall model. So it determines that requirements complete to design, so do the coding on unit testing. So if you're working on the testing part, you are working on the unit testing only. Okay. Next, we are working on the performance to fix the bugs. And finally, you can maintain the acceptance of the deployment. Okay. So this is how we can work on the waterfall model. Previously, we are using waterfall model. Right now, we are using the next model is agile model. Agile model is one of the most important concept to work on the progress. And you're working with the day-to-day activities based upon the communication, based upon the customer representative to work on the stakeholders. Okay. So for this, what I can do here is I want to maintain the agile model representation. See, agile model representation will be like this. So it depends upon the traditional approach. So traditional approach will come the picture of waterfall model, but in agile model, I can go with the variable concept. Okay. See, if you take Netflix application, if you take Netflix application, Netflix application, if you take Netflix application, see here, the Netflix application is started at 2012 only, but the market, so it was released in market in 2017. 2017. Okay. See, Netflix is not, previously it is not that much important. Right now, Netflix is going on with online digital application. Online digital application. Online digital application. See, the Netflix is right now, it is very rapid to grow. So it is very rapid to work. It is rapid. So the Netflix target is Netflix target is Netflix target is to attract the customers. The first one is to attract the customers. Second, reduce the cost efficiency. Reduce the cost efficiency. Third one is maintain the secure digital design. And fourth, quality of the service. Quality of the service. Quality of the service. So we are maintaining the quality of the service. So this is how we can go. Uh, actually, we are working on the progress. Okay. So the quality of the, this is a target of Netflix client. This is a client application. This is the client, and this is the customers. Customers. See, if you go with agile model, if you're working on the agile model, if you're working on the agile model, if you are working on the agile model, see, Netflix is continuously changing progress. Netflix is continuously changing progress based upon the. So if first Netflix is giving to the customers, Netflix is giving to the customers. The customers is taking the particular application, and the customers is reflecting feedbacks. Customers is taking the customers is taking the feedback. Customers is trying to give the feedback to network client. Netflix is giving to the customers online application. Online application. Okay, customers is giving the feedback. It is giving the feedback option. Feedback. So it should be like drawbacks. Drawbacks. So to improve the quality of the service. See, whatever it is going, Netflix is giving to customers, and again, it is going with the negative feedback. So this is completely picture of 24/7 process, guys. 24/7 process. 24/7 process. Netflix is giving the features 24/7 progress. Okay, to working on the progress level. Okay, and see here, whatever you're trying to streaming this application, this is completely online application. This is complete picture of online application. We are working with the online application based upon the streaming on the particular part. Streaming on the particular part. Okay. So now, as per the scenario, right now, how the agile model will works here. Agile model will works based upon the whatever we have a drawbacks from the customers. So they're trying to they'll try to go with, so they're having already source code. Okay, in this source code they'll try to so whatever we have a source code, they'll try to delete the module and adding the module adding the module as per the agile methodology as per the agile methodology. We are trying to go with deleting module, adding the module as per the agile methodology. Okay, so this is how we can try to go with 24/7 streaming process based upon the online application. Okay, so we are working with the online application based upon the client scenarios. Okay, so this is how we can try to take the agile methodology as per the progress level. Okay, so here we are trying to maintain the approach that is time, cost, and quality, and we are trying to go with the futures. So we are trying to go with the futures of the efficiency. Okay, so in waterfall model, that is not completely as strict, but coming to attain approach, we are trying to go with time, quality, and we are trying to go with the service levels as per the quality needs. See, these are the pipelines, what we are trying to go with agile methodology. So they are unhappy of the customers, guys. So whatever you're trying to release the code, see, this is unhappy customers. Okay, so it is waterfall model doesn't work on this particular long time process because the customers are not satisfied, and even business also will lose as per the version rules. Okay, in DevOps team, we are working with the version control system, commit the staging history, automation, and we are working with the manual process and automation progress. Okay, so we are working with the automation progress. Okay, so here basically we are trying to go with the different methodologies as per the constraints. We are trying to support the product of the quality based upon the DevOps engineering. Okay, this is how we can go with the step-by-step process, guys. So we are trying to go with continuous check, feedback, continuous check, feedback, continuous check, feedback, continuous check, feedback. So mistakes will be happen in commit histories. Mistakes will happen in commit histories like this, and we are trying to progress on the methods of the strategies. And again, the customers is taking, they are trying to go with the progress, and they're trying to deliver the product. See, this is an example which I was going with the traditional and agile. So finally, agile is going on with the progress like this. So first, they'll try to go with the design. They'll try to go with the architecture level and try to go with this this is particular. So if we are trying to change the code, we are trying to change the code, and we are trying to add the code, and even we are trying to modify the particular design, and finally we are trying to reach final product. Okay, this is how we can go with this. Okay, so we are trying to set all the configuration based upon first think an idea outline, then we can work on the idea and we can adjust always in production is ready. Okay, so here we can reduce the time efficiency. We are working on the progress. See, in waterfall model level, we are trying to design like this and we need to make a fit on this. We need to fit on this, but waterfall model doesn't satisfy on the particular part of source code. Okay. Next, we are trying to go with development plus objective realities. How we can work on the DevOps realities. Okay. So in this progress, what I can approach here is we need to improve the quality of the services based upon how we can work on the progress. See, in this agile methodologies, we are trying to develop the practice level and we are trying to go with the management practice and we are working on the progress on based upon the cloud services and we are working with the external factors of the futures and we are trying to go with self-healing technologies. Okay. So this is how we can try to go with the DevOps operations and we need to maintain the strategies. Okay, coming to the part of we are trying to go with the paradigm, we are trying to go with traditional IT. So how we can work on the progress? See, if you go with the manual process, that is traditional. If you go with the learning process, that is DevOps customer stream. So we need to value the stream. We need to perfection. We can flow and we can pull the stream according to the customer's value. See, this is how we can try to focus the customers. So the customers is learning. So the customers is trying to learn the perfection, value, flow, and we are trying to pull the progress. Trying to pull the progress according to the satisfaction. See, this is how we can go with the agile process. Agile process will be works like this. So we are trying to go with the running time, progress, and we are trying to agile. We are trying to modify the source code. And we are working with the operation. We are working with the operation, and we are trying to go with the proving of the particular satisfaction. So now we are trying to go with see here we are trying to go with some different types of tools methodologies in real time industry. So we mainly we can try to focus on the customers. We are trying to go with improving the product and we are trying to release the product in efficiency. Next, we are trying to go with organization. It depends upon the MNC or small size, depends upon your project, and we are trying to improve the source code level and we are trying to improve the product of the scenario. Next, we are trying to go with the visual management and we are trying to work on the source code level and we are working on the scenarios. Okay. Next, we are trying to go with the BBR prints and we are trying to go with the overall progress on the particular part of scenario and we are trying to work on the progress. See, in this we are trying to go with the DevOps technologies based upon the automation and we are trying to go with test and we are trying to deploy the source code and we are trying to release the product. So this is how we can work on the agile progress. So agile progress are very, very important to make a DevOps industry as per the norms, as per the norms of the industry. Okay. So this is very, very important. So in day-to-day evaluation of DevOps, we are trying to go with the waterfall model is like this. Agile model is going on with like this. It is going on with continuous integration, delivery and deployment. And we are trying to go with right now, it is going on with progress of AI. So currently we are working on the AI operations. And next, so old way is to focus on the ship dates. Right now, we are working with the softwares. So here, old days is completely different and new ways is completely different. So old days is completely like manual process and new way is completely automation process. So release more frequently, reliable and process. Never it will be done operation side and the customer side feedback operations. It will go like this. Next, in day-to-day evaluation of the DevOps life cycle code, we are trying to improve the quality of the level. So based upon the coding, building, and we can try to integrate the testing part. And we are trying to go with testing and release strategy. And we are trying to deploy the source code. Okay. So in this methodologies, we are trying to go with continuous deployment, delivery, and integration and agile methodologies. So here we are trying to go with the agile methodologies based upon the how we can evaluate the softwares as per the customer norms. So now what is the problem in software in DevOps actually? What is the problem in DevOps actually? If you're working on the problem on the DevOps industry, definitely we can maintain the challenges. Okay. So how to solve this issue actually? if you want to maintain the if you want to maintain the strategy level, so definitely we are trying to focus. We are trying to focus on speedy delivery, and we are working on the progress, and we are working with the developer perspective based upon the operations, and we are working with customer request, and we are working on the IT side based upon the provisional needs. Okay, so we are working on the provisional needs based upon the IT industry. Okay, so now this is how we can go with the progress. If you can't measure, you can't improve, guys. Because if you want to if you doesn't want to change your product, definitely you cannot improve your quality of the service. Okay, a DevOps lifecycle implementation is to measure the everything that should be comes a picture of performance, and we are trying to go with the metrics operation if you are working on the progress level. Okay, so this is what I want to improve the quality of the level of the service. Now, so here you need to maintain the feedback. So definitely we need to maintain the feedback as per the developer plus operations. So we can try to recycle this particular code of efficiency. So development will be taken and operation will be taken based upon the balancing modes on the basis of feedbacks. Next, here we are trying to maintain the three ways of the DevOps industry. So first flow is to understand the left to right. You need to maintain the left to right consistency based upon the cost effective. So the first you need to analyze the product, and you need to give the feedback from the customers, and you can try to take the challenges as per the business in market. Okay, the first one is you need to focus on the DevOps, that is culture plus performance tooling and organization level. We are trying to go with the business side. Okay, so this is how we can go. Next, what is the promise which I want to give in DevOps industry? So definitely I can give the promise in the next coming 30 years, the DevOps is leading in next coming automation side, and it is very faster because right now we are moving with devs to DevSecOps as per the software methodologies. Okay, so we are working with the software methodologies, and we are trying to work on the progress, and it is completely 30 times faster in coming to the part of AWS cloud. Okay, this is the progress, guys. In DevOps, we are working with the business side and operation side. Business side and operation. So we are working with business and operations based upon the measured technologies like this. Next, so who is the so DevOps is using currently Amazon.com, Facebook, eBay, Netflix, and Spotify. It is going on with the gathering on the challenges. Next, how can you go with the flow? So the flow will becomes a picture is very important. So the flow is very important because we are working with agile model methodologies. We are working with the progress as per the norms of the life cycle. We are working with the progress based upon the development side plus operations, and we are trying to move with the different types of strategies. Okay, based upon the agile, like we are working with the agile model, and we are working with models of the strategies, and we are working with the so this is how we can integrate the tools based upon the endless of the strategy needs. We are working with the endless of the strategy needs. Okay, so the next one is we are trying to go with the key concepts. So what kind of key concept? What is important in DevOps actually? What is the important in DevOps actually? If you're working on the DevOps, we need to deliver the products. That's very important. And you need to reduce the time. You need to reduce the time. You need to improve the quality of the service, and you need to utilize the workflow strategies. And the customers are very important as per the delivery norms. Next, DevOps strategies will be like this. See here. So in day-to-day scenarios, we are using all these operations based upon the strategy portfolio, and we are trying to work on the management, service design. We are working with the service transaction, service operations, continuous management. We are working on the flowing of the structure. Okay, so this is how we can try to design the ITSM, information technology service management. Okay, so this is how we can maintain the service architectures. Next, so how can you take the product as per the strategy level? So definitely we need to maintain the design. This design will becomes a picture like this. And if you want to maintain the implementation, it should be completely like this. And we need to maintain the support of the quality of the like this. Okay, this is how we can go. Next, we are trying to take a pipeline. So in real-time industry, if you take any application part, definitely we can try to go with the plan. So plan will make a complete picture of DevOps development plus operations. We are working on the progress based upon how we can take the strategies, how we can work on the strategies. So basically, if you take a plan of the structure, you are maintaining the design, you are taking the build, test, release, deploy, and operate. Okay, we are trying to operate on the particular part of scenarios. Okay, so This is how we can go. So this is a small example to make a customer satisfaction. So this is the product owner and this is Scrum Master. So if we have a team like this and we have a customer like this. Okay, customer is very ready to take the application based upon the different types of issues. Okay, so the next will be artifacts. So finally, the team manager will try to create an artifact. The team manager will try to create an artifact. If you're working on the products progress, the artifacts will be comes a picture of like this. Okay. Finally, the customer ready to take a gift for the first particular line. So this is the overall progress what we are trying to state the strategies according to the level. And this is the approach model we are trying to take. So if you have any changes, we are trying to change like this as per the agile model methodologies. Okay, agile model methodologies, we are trying to work on the progress. Okay, and we are trying to increase the Scrum Master will take care about this ready done. So it is 2 to 4 weeks that the changes will be done, and we are trying to go with the test customer. Again, the customer is taking the review, giving the negative reviews, and again you are trying to go with plan of action. You are trying to take the task and you increase the efficiency market. Like this, we need to maintain the strategies. So this is overall continuous flow. This is 24/7 progress, guys. To work on the progress, to maintain the plan of action, and we are working on the monitoring team, and you're working on the deployment team, and you're maintaining the release team. You're maintaining the release team as per the model level. Okay. So this is a continuous progress under the product level. So this is a continuous barrier. So without defining the customers, we are trying to go with the barrier level. How we can maintain the constitution, we can define, we can develop, we can monitor, we can operate. So this is a major product, how we can release the product as per Netflix, Flipkart, and anything else. So coming to performance, the performance should be very high to increase the efficiency to work on the progress. So coming to, we have some key dimension. In real-time industry, we are working on this particular progress. Success will be defined based upon the DevOps, how we can take the market, and it is completely efficiency of quality of the services. Okay. Next. So overall, so whatever I was defining this structure, we are trying to maintain all this efficiency based upon the customer feedbacks only. DevOps will not give the assurance to take 100% quality level. It will go with the different enable techniques as per the market strategies. Okay. So this is how we can overall progress in market sharing as per the level of the strategies. Okay. So this is all overall brief about the real-time industry, how we can take a defining the product and how can you define the particular progress in basis of Spring market. Okay. So this is how overall introduction of DevOps, guys. In next day 3, I can go with the completely index part of the scenario. We are trying to work on the progress. Signing off, B. Harish Kumar Reddy. I'm the DevOps Tech Lead Operations in my company. Okay. Thank you, guys. And if you have any doubts, feel free to ask me, guys. So for that, I can go with one-to-one as per the level of the industry, guys. And one thing I want to notice, one thing, guys, DevOps is completely like upgrade version to work on the progress. And currently, I hope layoffs is going on. But the thing is, if you learn the subject, you can get a good knowledge and you can work on the technologies. AWS is good in market, guys. No need to worry about this. So if you get a good practical knowledge, I can assure you to make a practical very strictly and I can give the best interview questions to work on the progress. Okay. So this is overall progress which I want to take. And thank you so much, guys, and have a nice day.